Cozy up and welcome to this week's episode of the Cubcast.
This is our last episode of the podcast of 2020. It's been an interesting year, but we're glad to end it off with this episode. So to start off, in 2020's most anticipated... to start off, 2021's most anticipated games, Zelda Breath of the Wild 2. Like, this is literally one of the best games of all time. Well, the first one is one of the best games of all time, in my opinion. Like, I played that game so much. It came out with the release of the Nintendo Switch in 2017. And, yeah, have you ever played it, Aaron, or have you not played it?
I have not played Zelda Breath of the Wild.
Oh, that's unfortunate. You should really play it. No, I'm not gonna lie. It's a great game. Like, when I got my Switch fixed, although unfortunately it broke, I started playing it again because it wouldn't let me, like, use my old save. But unfortunately, it just takes way too long. I have, like, 2,000 hours on that game, but I just can't commit that much time to it anymore.
That's fair. I mean, they must expect only children to play it if it has, like, 2,000 hours worth.
True, maybe. I mean... The Nintendo Switch is advertised for kids, basically. Like, it's, as much as adults can obviously play it, it's more of a kid's console, if you know what I mean.
I mean, you're not going to see some adult rock up to work with his Nintendo Switch, like...
Yeah. It does look really good, though. I'm not so much on it, but if it's going to be the second Breath of the Wild, then it's obviously going to be good. Like, if they make it bad, then I'm going to be really disappointed, because it's a game that I loved very much. And
if you like the first one, I'm pretty sure they'd go off the reviews and stuff, right?
Yeah, like,
it was a loved game though. Did a lot of people like it?
Yeah, because it came out with the release of the Switch. So, like, if someone bought the Switch, like, they'd automatically
You'd
buy.
get one. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense. How does the Switch work? Like, is it like all downloaded?
Oh no, you can get like the cartridges.
Like the little SD card looking things.
Yeah, I have some next to me, but like the you can use those, but I mainly just bought them like digitally, which
All right, yeah.
I think that's how it's gonna go, because if the Switch, like, if they're gonna release another Switch or like another console, because surely like the PS and Xbox are releasing another console soon, the Switch have got to, right? Nintendo.
I don't know. I mean, even KFC's releasing a console, but we'll come to that later.
Oh.
I mean, right. Anyway, one of my most anticipated games is definitely Gotham Knights, which is, again, a most anticipated game. And this takes place after Arkham Knight. Spoilers! Batman dies at the end of Arkham Knight after Scarecrow reveals Bruce Wayne's identity to the public.
I mean, to be honest, the game is like 6 years old now, 5 years old.
Yeah, just spoiler alert, right? So Batman dies. This is after Batman dies, and it has Batgirl, Robin, which would be... What's his name?
Jason Todd, are you classing that? Oh no, Red Hood.
Jason Todd's Red Hood.
Yeah.
Timmy something or something like that.
Something like that. Timmy!
Batgirl. So it has Batgirl, which is Oracle. Robin.
Nightwing.
Tim Drake. Nightwing would have been Dick Grayson, and Red Hood being Jason Todd.
Yeah.
And so I might get it. I don't know. It depends on if they'll bring it out on PC. It just depends, to be fair.
Yeah, I mean,
Sorry, go.
Well, Arkham Knight is a game that I really loved. I didn't really play much. What was the game before? Arkham City, I think it was. I didn't really play too much of that, but like when I did, I enjoyed it. Like the combat, especially in Arkham Knight, the combat was really good. I just think I think the new one might be like a similar combat style, but with just like graphical changes and obviously different story. But I don't know.
I mean, it will have very much better graphics.
Yeah.
The story will probably be about doing Batman's job. Red Hood recovering from being the Arkham Knight. Again, spoiler, if you don't know that, then
you have issues.
So we'll move on to the best multiplayer rated... No. We'll move on to the best rated games of 2020.
Among Us actually won the best multiplayer game of 2020, which is pretty insane, because like obviously not many people were playing it, and then I think it blew up in around August, I think it was.
Yeah,
September.
It blew up within like the last 3 months.
Yeah, and it's best multiplayer of the game. Multiplayer of the year.
Last 4 months, I think, and it got the best multiplayer of the year.
Is insane, because I to be honest, I like Among Us, and I understand it's done big things, but like I don't understand how you can have a best game of the year if it's been released in the past like few months.
I know, and it is an indie game, but I mean, it just doesn't. I think it only got the nominations because it gets every age
Yeah,
out there.
very
I
influential.
mean, yeah, and as for like, I would personally, I wouldn't say Among Us is. We'll come to our own after this. I just want to say I do not think it deserved having the best multiplayer game of the year.
Mm.
Top 5, sure, but best of the year?
Yeah, maybe
Like, are you
not.
serious?
Yeah, I mean, I sort of see why the amount of streamers that have like told people, "Oh, this is a great game." What was his name? Oh, I'm trying to remember who it was. It's like a big guy who's
Corpse,
like really good at it. Not
Corpse,
Corpse. He's like Asian. I don't remember his name.
Psychono.
Not Saiku. No, I don't remember his name. But if I remember it, I'll come back to that. But it like I think just the amount of people and streamers who have played it, people are like, "Oh, this game is really cheap." I think it was like £5, something like that.
And it's free on mobile.
Yeah, free on
Like,
mobile. That's a big thing because a lot of people in my school anyway would just play it on their phone. It's like obviously that's gained a lot of audience because you can get it for free.
100%.
So what game do you think should have gotten best multiplayer of the year?
When I think about it, either Valorant for how good the community was, not the community. Oh no, the community wasn't good. How good the devs were, or I'm trying to think. I'm thinking maybe COD.
Again,
No.
that was released in November.
Yeah, I mean, what?
I'd say what games were actually released this year?
Yeah,
There was
there wasn't many.
Fall Guys, but that just we'll come back to that later. That's just I don't know what could it be. I bet in before it's Fortnite.
No, right. I think mine would be Valorant for the devs.
Yeah.
Only mainly because of the devs.
I'd agree as well because to be honest, it's like it's took quite a big strand in the competitive scene. Obviously, because of the new coronavirus, it's not been able to like do LAN events and stuff. But I think if they somehow manage to get it done next year, I think it'll become even bigger as an esport. You know, because of it's like competitive possibilities.
Yeah, what's your favorite multiplayer game of 2020?
I'd have to agree with you, to be honest. I just think I think there's not really been too many games that would actually take the spot, and I think the developers did a really good job with that game. And obviously, it's still updating, isn't it? Yeah, and I just think that all the different things that you can do, the different characters you can use, the different like strategies, I just think it's a good game. And yeah, multiplayer of the year.
100% is out there. Speaking of Valorant having good community support, Fortnite was nominated for best community support.
That makes me cringe.
Nominated, right? Nominated. It didn't win it.
Thank God.
I think Fall Guys won it.
Hmm.
But we'll come to Fall Guys like literally in a second. But I mean, the fact that Fortnite was even nominated, like they didn't listen. They've not listened to their community since season like 6 at least.
Yeah.
Yeah. What? Like seriously?
Yeah, it don't make sense because on the topic of that, like the community itself is just filled with people who don't know what they're talking about.
And
so
children.
yeah, and children. Obviously, we're children, but at least we sort of know what we're talking about. It's just the fact that the community is that bad. Like if they say one thing, the devs in 10 years finally do it, and then they're like, people switch up, which it's a hard thing to do. But Epic Games, like they could at least do more than what they have done. Like they've been terrible in the past year or so, maybe even longer.
Yeah, I think season 10 was the end. After season 10, at least chapter 2 is what killed the game.
Yeah, because season 9, I loved that. Like, some things were obviously the season's not going to be perfect. Nothing's going to be perfect, but I think they did season 9 really well with the whole futuristic theme and those like air things you could fly in. Remember those?
Yeah, I think the chapter 2 season 1 was decent, right? I think that the game could have lived like that, but when they brought season 2, it was practically the same. They added one more location.
I liked it.
And then they brought season 3, made the map flooded. That was actually decent.
That was really fun.
And then they get rid of it by the end of season 3, so there's nothing to do. And then season 4 is literally just an ad
Same with this season.
for
It was an ad
is
for
this season
Avengers.
5?
Yeah, it was an ad for Avengers last season. This season's an ad for Star Wars. So it's like,
Yeah.
because for me personally, Chapter 2 Season 1, at the point I quit Fortnite, I was just mainly playing Rocket League. But like, it looks alright, but they made that season go on for like the length of 2 normal seasons when there was no content. And like Chapter 2 Season 2 and Season 3 I both loved, but they didn't update it at all, even though Fortnite was a company, Epic Games were a company that like supposedly updated their games every single week. That's how the first few seasons did really well. Because the amount of new things you could hop on and do, it kept people like enticed in the game basically.
Yeah, 100%. They kept adding new stuff, and then it just got to the point where it would just be a literal advertisement for a company, a game, a series. And moving on from that, we're going to talk about Fall Guys.
I'm so disappointed about that. Like that game, I loved so much. Like when it came out, I was streaming it almost every day. It was so fun. Just being able to play party games. It was like Mario Party, but more enjoyable for me. And it was really good. But after the first like few weeks, it just became really boring. No updates, nothing changed. And then when Season 2 came out, I think I was like, oh, this is gonna be amazing. All new maps, all like new things to do, be amazing. And then you found out it's still the same maps. There's only just like 1 or 2 new maps added, nothing else.
Yeah, they're not maps, they're game modes, really, aren't
Yeah,
they?
game modes.
And you know, you play. It's like one of them games. You play it for a week, and then by day 6, you're like, oh no, not this game mode. You know, there's only a few game modes you like. And then day 7, it's just to the point where you're like, nah, I'm not staying on this for much longer, and then it just goes away and away. And I think it was mainly an ad. I believe Ninja got his own skin
Yeah, he
in
did.
Fall Guys, and that kind of brought back some attention to it. But then again, that's a marketing technique. It doesn't make the game any better that Ninja has his own skin.
Yeah. I do agree though, like the fact that like when you won, like it wasn't any old like, you know, like battle royales where you win, nothing happens. Like at least you got like, I think it was like keys you could spend in the shop. Crowns, that was it. You could get and like spend in the shop, get new outfits. But then again, it's outfits that you wear in the game. And you just keep getting wins, and it just lost interest.
Yeah, I think it was supposed to be an addictive factor, your skins and stuff.
I don't think it really works.
The fact that every game mode took so long to load up, even just the intro scenes to go into them, where like you'd wait and there'd be that one pan out type thing, that just makes it boring. You're sitting there and you're seeing so much of that. Yeah, I just think the game didn't do what it wanted to do. It was a decent game. It was an indie company. I get it. The servers were terrible. That's another thing. The servers, they just kept cutting out.
For me personally, the worst thing about the game was the anti-cheat system. Like that anti-cheat system, you get a hacker every single game, and if I even like beat him quite a few times, which is depressing.
Yeah, he has a video on that.
Yeah, I have a video. Go check it out.
You should.
But yeah, it's insane because they didn't really fix it. I think they did a little bit in Season 2, but that's how Warzone did really badly. Like it was an amazing game, and then the anti-cheat system was bad, and then they fixed it, and then like it became a lot more fun to play.
Really good game, Warzone. I don't like Warzone too much personally, but that's kind of I think that comes down to preference. The way that I've seen Warzone is always as any old battle royale. You know, like I'd rather play PUBG, H1Z1. I just find that it's just a battle royale with COD guns and weird contract type things, and you know, I just find that the environment when you're playing it, just the feeling that you get, I'd rather just have the feeling that you get when you play PUBG or H1Z1. They're both a lot better games, and they have a better vibe around them. Warzone's more of a dull type vibe.
Fair enough. Personally, I really like Warzone. I think it's a step in the right direction, and it's also a step in the wrong direction. But I think if they can do it well and keep going like that, it can do really well, like I said. But I don't think you should forget about the actual game, Cold War.
I think, right, Yeah, so I think I'm not meaning to interrupt you, but the fact that it's free to play completely annoys me. I think maybe, give someone like 48 hours of game time to play and see if they like it, and then let it be an expansion or something that comes as a part of the games.
Mm.
And each game you can try that version of Warzone for 48 hours so that people would know whether or not they want to put their money into it. But having a free to play game means anybody can be a hacker. If someone doesn't care, they can just install hacks and mess around with people and annoy people. It's annoying, and I get it's a good marketing technique because it brings a lot more people to Call of Duty. But as Thomas said right there, they also don't focus on their main games enough, like multiplayer, zombies,
Mm.
etc. I mean, we should have got something new for Zombies Christmas, but they just updated the map.
I was so disappointed. Like, I love zombies.
100%, and they just made some zombies into Christmas trees.
That was quite fun, but to be honest, like when season 1 came out, I expected a new map, and they didn't deliver, and it wasn't great.
They gave us Raid.
I meant as in zombies maps, because they advertised when Nuketown came out, you could play like a little Nuketown zombies game mode for like 24 hours, and I saw NoahJ456 play it, and it was absolutely terrible. There was so many bugs. And they just released it because Nuketown came out. It wasn't even like an actual proper zombies, and you couldn't play it, which I just thought was a weird decision to make, to be honest.
Yeah, they don't spend enough time on their actual game, and I get that this is going back to the free to play aspect of Warzone. Is that it's free to play, so there's going to be millions and millions of players to the point where you're going to have to make all of your focus beyond that.
Yeah.
You're going to need a lot of focus on it, and you're going to need a whole team, while some people from that team could be working on something better like multiplayer or making new maps for zombies.
Yeah, and like personally, I'm a big fan of Cold War. Like I think they've done a lot of parts of the game really well and a lot of parts wrong, which annoys me because the score streaks aspect, I think we've talked about this on the podcast before, but the fact that you don't have to actually go on a streak to get bombs, it just doesn't make sense.
It's just noob friendly, isn't it? I mean, I think that could have also came from the free to play aspect of Warzone, because a lot of people played that for free, and they're like, no, I'm not going to buy Modern Warfare because this new Cold War game's coming out. So then they buy Cold War, and that helps them. They know that there's going to be a lot of people who came from a free to play game, which kind of advertised Call of Duty as a whole, and then they can make it more noob friendly, considering they know that there's going to be so many new players.
Yeah, I do agree with that. Like, the fact that obviously skill-based matchmaking is in the game, like, they've made that. It sounds like it'd work and it'd make it so, the noobs can go in that, and then the people who actually want to play can get in their lobbies. But it ruins the game because, like, in Black Ops 2 or Black Ops 3 or whatever COD game, like, you'd be put in a pool of random people, and you'd be like, okay, let's go in this game, let's see how we can do. But now you're only getting in lobbies with either stupid people or like people who just bomb the entire game, and it just doesn't make sense.
And reverse boosting is an issue, because if you do terrible in one game, then you get into a really bad lobby, and if you do very good in a game, even just like 20-5, you'll get in a game with like very high levels, very good players.
Yeah, and I think it's based on like your your wins, so it's not even based on your KD. Like, you can have a 1 KD, get a really good game where you do like you said 20-5, and you'll get put in a lobby with people maybe with like 4 KD. Like, it doesn't make sense.
And I just miss not having SBMM and being able to have fun on the game. And I mean, I don't play Call of Duty for a competitive manner. Sure, I'm going for Dark Matter, but I'm not there just to grind. I'm there to have fun. And I don't care about being good. I don't care about being bad. I'm just there to enjoy the game, and it's nearly impossible.
Yeah, 100%. Like, I think if you're going to release something like skill-based matchmaking, which personally I think they've done it because of Battle Royale, like Fortnite was, like, it's obviously been in games before, but Fortnite was the main, like, marketing strategy or, like, point of them doing skill-based matchmaking, and I thought other companies, they're like, oh, this big game has done it, why don't we add it to our game? Might improve it. And it's gone the complete opposite way. Just insane. Like, personally, I just think if you're going to follow other companies in that way, then there's no point of having your own game, because you're just following other people and not actually making something unique.
100%. I don't think SPMM has ever been something of following. I think it just comes from everything to do with COD now. They just think it's a good technique because they know that there's many people coming in for to play the game, you know. And I think SPMM was added to Fortnite because there was constantly and constantly more people joining, but that was a free to play game. When you have a game that is you need to pay at least at the moment it's £33 because of a sale, but at least £33 at the moment. But it will be at least £50. Then you should not have SBMM whatsoever, because they had to know what they're doing if they're going to put £50 into a game.
I think I sort of agree with you, but I think if you're going by that point, then if you're paying £50, you shouldn't have it because you you should. If you're paying that money for a game, you sort of expect to be put into a pool of people that are like going to be like good at the game.
Yeah,
but,
I mean, like you kind of expect for them to know what they're doing.
Yeah, but I also think it doesn't really make sense because if they were going to add it for a free to play game, then why would they spend time doing the free to play game if they're just going to make it the other one a paid game?
Yeah, I guess, but that because the free to play, people get to play it for free, and then they get to know Call of Duty that way. And then if they're like, I like this free to play thing, maybe the actual Call of Duty game franchise is like this, then they'd put their money into it.
Yeah, I see your point though. That does make sense.
But moving off of that, going off of games just for a second. We don't want to be all about games, by the way. We're trying to be variety, but we are going to be talking a lot about games considering it's more relatable. But secondary schools in Britain are looking like they aren't going to open until at least mid-January, according to the press, after they already pushed back holiday deadline. But for Thomas, it looks like it's a whole different deal, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's been, I think I was supposed to start school on the 5th, and then they made it so the first week we have to do home learning, like Zoom calls. And then they've just announced today that we're not going back into school till the 18th, and we still have to do home learning before then. And I find it really weird because, to be honest, if you're going to postpone going to school, I don't understand the point of postponing 2 weeks to see how it is instead of just stopping it, making it an online learning, and then just resume it when you think it's good enough to go in. Having a scheduled time, you don't know if it's going to be better by then. Like it's not 2 weeks and then it's fine. It's
exactly.
I think it should be however long they think it is. They think that the school being closed actually reduces cases. If they see that it's reduced a low enough amount for the NHS to cope and to go back into school, then I think they should let us back in. Personally.
Yeah, that's a good take. But as for Scotland, at least, we aren't going back until the 18th. But I've heard from people and press that it's not looking like we might be going back until like mid-20s of January. And I've heard, but the thing is last time we were in like the big lockdown, right? And then they let us back, right? And then they're like, oh wow, you can go back to school. Now you get to go see your grandparents. Like putting old people at risk, really? And it's not even, it's like you're putting old people at risk, you're putting young people at risk by putting them into schools, you're putting their parents at risk, you're putting their animals at risk, considering some animals have died to the virus now. Cats, dogs, everything. Like, probably even like parrots. Like, who knows? Like, it genuinely just depends. And I mean, home learning, I think it's decent, right? It's not a good way of doing it because it's not guaranteed that everyone's going to do it, right? They don't really care if people don't do it. No one was really punished for not doing it, if you get me.
For me, to be honest, in that regard, I think if they're not doing it, it's their own fault. They'll see when their exams come, and then they'll be done for because they've not done any work in that time period.
I know, but sometimes you're like, if they're not gonna do it, it's not really their fault because the school. It is their fault, but I mean, it's not their fault because the school isn't enforcing it per se.
It's yeah, I sort of see what you mean. I think people nowadays don't have the common sense to realize that. So I think
Yeah, I know.
So I think the
100%.
school enforcing that probably is a thing that they should do. But
And the fact that it's a new strand of COVID completely, and it's new, it's a lot more dangerous. It spreads a lot quicker and easier. Um, yeah, I
Isn't-
don't know the stats on it.
yeah, isn't there supposed to be like 2 new strands now as well? It's more contagious or something like that. I don't really know.
Yeah, it's just getting worse and worse. 100%.
It's interesting to think how obviously Twitter's a place that nothing truthful ever comes out of it, but the people just going on about oh I'm so excited for 2021, good year's gonna come. I don't think people realize it. COVID's not just gonna dip in 2020 though. 2021 though, it's still gonna happen. We're still gonna be struggling. Hopefully, it can be a better year for people. It doesn't mean it's just gonna be like, you know, it's disappeared now. Now let's have some fun.
Yeah, 100%. And yeah, I mean we'll move back into gaming for a little bit and some technology.
So yeah, the console wars are over. The KF console is here. The new contender joins the ring. Best console ever. You can play your games, warm your chicken up. Oh, absolutely
And
amazing.
they have partnered with Cooler Master, one of the best PC component building companies out there, to make the KF console, which is practically a PC
Oh,
with
no,
a chicken warmer.
on a real note though, that how has this become a thing? I don't understand.
They're memeing, 100% memeing.
Yeah, and even before they actually like make money from this and actually start like contending more than Nintendo.
Everybody's memeing. Like, what is it? Burger King, Wendy's, what's it called? Burger King, Wendy's, Kit Kat, all of them, they all have gaming accounts now.
Do they?
On Twitter, yeah, they have gaming accounts on Twitter where they meme and stuff. I mean, Wendy's have always memed.
Yeah.
But, I mean,
imagine if they came into esports and they're just like, all right, we're having a Wendy's esports team and we're gonna go into CDL. Let's get it.
they'd do that, by the way. They're Wendy's.
probably
they'd
would.
do that 100%. Yeah, they have some memers there. I wonder who runs that Twitter account. It'd have to be like some 20-year-old man that's like just memeing.
Yeah, I think this console, it like I'm gonna watch some reviews on it. Is it actually out yet, or has it just been announced?
Not out yet, but
No.
there are some videos on it where you can find specs and
Yeah.
how powerful it'll be, what games it can run.
If this can actually like cook your chicken or like cook like anything to do like that while you're playing your games, that's gonna be
Keeps it
insane.
warm.
Yeah, oh yeah, chicken
Keeps it
warmer. That's it.
Doesn't cook it. Yeah.
Yeah. If it's keeping it warm, like imagine if you put your popcorn in there.
You know, my question is, what do you go to KFC to buy it? Imagine going to KFC and being
You go
like, yeah,
you
I'd
go
like a KF
you go to
console.
the drive-through. Can I have a KF console and a side of popcorn chicken, please?
Yes, please. That'd be £799, please.
They
sir.
buy the popcorn chicken, but it comes in the actual console, and you just open it up.
There's not even a price release yet, but
No.
I'm thinking it's gonna be at least like 500, 600 because it's got PC specs, right?
It's either going to be really on the lower end of the spectrum, and it's going to be like maybe 200, 300, or
No, because they've already said it's gonna run big games at very high
Yeah.
settings.
it must be I'd say to compete with us though and not be 600 like a joke. I think it'd be more like the Xbox and PlayStation, to be honest, because if they have those specs or PC specs, I think having the chicken warmer in it sounds stupid, but I think it's actually like if they have that price, they'll get a lot more buyers because they're like, oh, it's the same price as this, I can get maybe even just as good specs, but I can warm my chicken up at the same time.
I know, exactly. Some people are going to think that way. Not all people, because some people are
Yeah.
specifically looking for a PS5 or an Xbox Series X. But it just depends on how they think about it. If they're smart, then they might think about it like that.
Yeah, it's interesting to see what we can do with it, because maybe they even release their own exclusive games if it actually does well. Like, their exclusives.
Imagine.
Imagine it's the Colonel like playing zombies or something. It's just the Colonel starting whacking him with a popcorn chicken.
Colonel's dead, right? He's very, very old, right?
I think so. Is he? I swear, I think he's still alive, but I don't quote me on that. But I don't think he's dead.
I need to look this up. What's his name? Colonel or something?
Colonel Sanders.
Colonel Sanders, is it?
I think it's Colonel something like that.
He died in 1980.
Okay, never mind. He's dead. Yeah.
He died in 1980. Big up, Colonel.
Big up. I think it's Colonel. It's Colonel.
It's Colonel.
Colonel, man.
It's COLONEL.
Yeah, I know. You don't pronounce it Colonel though. That sounds dodgy.
Colonel.
Oh,
Right.
anyway.
OLED TVs, they broke through per se, became more natural this year for people to buy them, considering they're a bit cheaper than they always have been, considering that it's a lot easier to put together the tech for that. But some of the best TVs are now out there in the market, and they've improved a lot. It's like phones; they just keep improving and improving and improving, and they keep bringing out new ones, etc. And one TV that I kept getting in an ad, quite a funny story. I was watching Britain's Got Talent, right? Do you watch Britain's Got Talent?
I used to about 5 years ago. Then I realised how much of a waste of time it was. No, not anymore.
So I was watching Britain's Got Talent this year with my mum, and I kept getting this ad for the LG Signature ZX 88-inch 8K 30 grand TV. 30 grand meaning £30,000. And I'm like, why are they advertising this to me? Are cookies not a thing anymore? Like, what?
30 grand for a TV. That thing must. I know it's 8K, but that thing must be like this thing.
It sits on the ground. It's like that.
Did it not come with a stand?
Yeah, it sits like with a stand.
Oh yeah, 'cause I swear.
You can't hang it up. You can't bracket it.
It's like, do you remember like a few years back they released that one where you can like fold it up? Like wallpaper. Yeah, that one. It came with like a stand with like a sound bar as a stand, and you could retract it, and you press a button and it retracts into the sound bar. It's insane.
It's so weird. It's like they're just trying to get more tech savvy so that it looks cooler, and then more rich people will buy it.
Yeah,
that's how it works.
I think obviously OLED that's obviously like insanely good TV, but OLED TVs are starting to become more cheaper. 4K TVs in general, like you can get them for like £300-400 now for like a 50-inch or like a decent size. But yeah, they're becoming more popular now.
100%.
But yeah, I do think with 8K just being like that sort of breaking through as well, because 8K was just like, oh, we've released 8K, but we're still in the works trying to make it perfection. And I don't really think there's a massive difference between 4K and 8K. It might be like a decent, like, oh yeah, it's a bit of an increase. Like per se, there's now 360Hz monitors. You can go from 244 to 360. Not much of a difference, but you still sort of noticeable.
Yeah, I don't think the human eye can see past 144, right?
No,
so it just goes to blur.
I think the 240 hertz. I watched a Linus Tech Tips video. It had Shroud in it this morning.
That one.
Yeah.
The one where he's playing CS:GO and doing the sniper test. Oh my god, that's such an old video.
Yeah, I was watching it. It came up in my recommended, and I was like, watched the whole 35 minutes of it, and it was showing how with 60 hertz, even if he was hitting the guy on his screen, it didn't actually register as a hit. If he was playing on 144, if he hit him in like the same place, it'd actually register. I think 244, 240, sorry, and 360. I think maybe that sort of does it even better, but I don't think there'll be much of a difference, to be honest.
So I was searching up stamps. This is just a weird story. I was searching up stamps for posting stuff. You know, like stamps that you put on posting stuff.
Oh,
like
yeah.
Stamps. So I searched like stamps, and it came up this thing. It was like I accidentally searched on it wrong, and it came up Royal Mint, which is a gold company based in Wales, right? And they sell gold coins, special edition coins, silver coins, etc. I came across them, right, and I'm like, you know,
right.
I'm gonna go on this website, see what they have. So then I find this James Bond 1 ounce gold bar with an engraving saying "No Time to Die" on it, right?
Okay.
Which is like a movie, and it is 999.9 something gold, and it is £1,500 for a 1 ounce gold bar. And it has 2 reviews.
2 reviews.
So listen to this review. Wait, 4 stars. More expensive than a 1 ounce. They spelled ounce wrong. Plain bar. Sure, it doesn't cost any more to make. This guy that left the review, his name is Mr. Alexander Hamilton McKay. A month ago. And then James Bond single bar, 5 stars. Everything was as promised. Contacted me to make sure the packaging okay. Good customer service, Mrs. Christine Smith.
Wait, so is this on Amazon?
No, this is on the Royal Mint, the gold maker.
The gold maker. Oh, okay.
And they sell special edition coins and stuff for collectors.
Oh yeah, I remember. I know someone who has one of those. They have like they're a big Assassin's Creed fan as well. They have a gold coin with like and like indented in it is like Ezio's face.
Yeah, that's probably not rare though. You get
Yeah.
like Paddington editions, Sherlock Holmes editions, David Bowie. There's certain
Oh
singers.
yeah. The Sherlock Holmes. Sorry to interrupt you there, but I've heard they go for like thousands, tens of thousands.
They do. I have one over here.
Alright, you sure it does?
You see that?
Is it actually got real gold?
No, it's silver.
Oh wait, isn't it a 50p?
Yes.
Yeah.
You get silver ones, you get gold ones.
I'm guessing
But-
you like are you gonna save it for like if it's even rarer in like years and years and years and maybe sell it, or are you just gonna keep it
Yeah.
forever?
Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. Like,
How do you know how you got it, or did it just appear?
they go around in the shops and stuff, and I also have a Paddington Bear one.
Does that one go for anything?
Yeah. They're all worth stuff.
Yeah, you've got a collection there for you.
Yeah, I mean it's not worth much now, but it goes up in years to come.
Hmm.
Right.
What you doing in space?
Just an interesting fact.
Yeah. To talk about something different though, Mr. Beast. If you don't know who he is, then you're more than living under a rock. You're living in the Earth's core. But yeah, he released a burger. 300 locations. Of his it's really good marketing technique, to be honest. It's a restaurant that you can't actually go in. It's just deliver, especially with this year with the COVID pandemic. And they've released like lots, like 300 locations, like I said, all across America, and you can just order it and get
So-
it.
That confuses me because I've watched numerous videos where they're like, my Italian restaurant down the road was contracted to sell it. Yet, other places it says that he has 300 locations, but I think he might have done like one location per state and then contracted restaurants to make
sell
his
the burger.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking because I've seen a lot of people who talk about that, and there's this one like really nice guy who makes like eating videos. He's actually, I don't know why I watch him, but he's like such a nice guy, you know, like you just find someone and you're like, wow, he's eating and he's a nice guy. He's just talking about nice things. And he was eating a Mr. Beast burger and he was talking about how it was in his local Italian restaurant and stuff. I was like, okay.
I'm guessing he was like I'll say I forgot to say. But yeah, also speaking about like Twitch streamers meals, on Wendy's.
We didn't speak about Twitch streamers' meals. Speaking about Twitch streamers' meals, what do you mean?
To also talk about
Speaking of influencers,
speaking of influencers' favorite meals, Tfue and Myth got like a marketing collaboration with Wendy's. They've got their own. I think Tfue has his like burger or something, or Myth has a burger, and both of them have collaborated with Wendy's, which is really interesting. To be honest.
Yeah, we don't get Wendy's in the UK.
No,
by
we
the way.
don't. We just I've heard it's really good, but I think it
They have
might just
Square
be
burgers.
Square burgers.
Yeah, Square burgers. Wendy's. I don't know. I'm not a big fan of fast food person. In general, but I mean, you'd think I am, but no, I don't. It's just like, you know, I just hear something like KFC, McDonald's and stuff, and I'm just like, nah, I just don't like it. It just makes me think of grease and fat and stuff. And,
Says that, and you got a Domino's today, but alright.
I know I did. I got a Domino's, but Domino's I wouldn't call fast food.
I think it's a mix of both, to be honest. Like I'd sort of class it as fast food, but to be honest, it's it's made right in front of you and it's made out of fresh ingredients. But I would sort of class it as fast food, to be honest.
Yeah, but you get to see that it has fresh ingredients, and Domino's pizza is different from any other pizza, you know. And they're all unique in their own way. Like Papa John's, I like Papa John's, I like Domino's. I do not like Pizza Hut though. I don't like Pizza
I
Hut.
quite like Pizza Hut. That's mainly for the fact of the desserts, the cookie dough. But the actual pizzas are decent, but they're not top level.
Nothing special, no. I don't think Pizza Hut compared to Domino's when it comes to the pizzas. But one day I went to see the X Factor, and I went to see an X Factor live show in Glasgow, and I went to the Pizza Hut in Glasgow, right beside Central Station. If you know, you know. And it's like this 3-story building, right? And it's all Pizza Hut, and like one floor is like special pizzas, reservations. The second floor is like salads and stuff, and the third floor is like where you can order whatever you want. It's like the best floor, right? And we had the third floor. We were on the best floor, so we got some pizza. It wasn't that good, but the dessert, it's like you get to choose as much as you want. They just give you an ice cream tub, and there's an ice cream machine on the corner, right? And bloody hell, I was non-stop using that. It was like actually insane. Like they have some good desserts, by the way.
But did they do the cookie dough? The cookie dough is amazing from there.
I didn't have any. I just ate ice cream and chocolate fountain stuff.
Probably very controversial because I know a lot of people do. I actually don't like ice cream at all. It's just for me personally. I just don't see the point of it. Like,
where have you had it from though?
Well, like all loads, like every place.
Have you ever had like little cafes by the seaside's ice cream?
Yeah,
where it's really nice and sweet.
Yeah, and I've had the ones where, like you get them at the restaurants with things, and it's all right with like brownies, you know, because like it sort of mixes in. But like I don't like it just pure ice cream. That's just
Yeah, I mean I like Ben and Jerry's stuff. Ben and Jerry.
I've not actually had a Ben and Jerry in about 4 years.
I had one. When was it? Last week, right? We were playing.
Yeah, you had cookies and cream, was it?
No, it was brownie, chocolate brownie.
Oh yeah, I'd have cookies and cream though.
I think we were playing COD Zombies, and I was like, I went up the plane and I was like, yo, Thomas, can you cover me while I eat some Ben and Jerry's? And it was going all over my mouse pad, and then I had to run and clean up my mouse pad.
I remember I was like, you little mug, get back here and play COD. And it was like that one Mongrel clip when he has his ice cream and he pours it all over his mouse pad. If you saw that,
Yeah.
oh, it's amazing.
Yeah.
He just ran away and get off and clean up.
It's fantastic. Fantastic.
That's insane.
Yeah. So I don't know how that came up. We have a situation and more drama, probably coming on Drama Alert tonight as we're recording this, but you'll see it the day after we're recording this. But Valkyrie abruptly ends her stream over Twitch chat harassment. And we believe it's possibly due to toxicity or it's possibly due to backseat gaming. And nobody knows what it's about. And she's asked if she should stream. It's quite a controversial topic. She says she's okay. So this, we're not trying to be mean to her or anything. We're just bringing it up because, you know, drama and Twitch, and the Twitch community in general, it happens a lot. But this was during a giant collab featuring 40 streamers or something like that on Rust.
She's not actually. I think she streams on YouTube now as well as Corey JD. She's not actually stream on Twitch, but I think.
Oh, does she not?
No. She did a deal with YouTube like 6 months ago, I believe. But yeah, she did go live today actually playing, but I don't know because I remember she just didn't speak for a few minutes. I watched a few clips afterwards. She wasn't speaking, and then she was just sat there like getting really annoyed. And just ended the stream, which, like I said, don't know what it's about. But
there's a lot of just people guessing about what it could be, like ex-boyfriend stuff being brought up in chat and stuff like that. I'm like, I don't know exactly. I'm not gonna get into that too much. It just comes with being a streamer in general. There's a lot of harassment if you're big. But what surprised me was the fact that it was such a big collaboration, and I know that like Sykkuno Corpse, I believe, and Jacksepticeye and stuff, they were all in it. And if it's such a big thing, why end it abruptly?
Obviously we don't know what's going on, but like back the backstory, but it was insane because I was watching Twitch and I was like, I think Rust was like 30th top game viewed, And then the next day, I went on Twitch and I was like, it's number one with 400k viewers. I was like, what is going on? Click on
Yeah,
it.
there's, like,
All the big
40K.
streamers are playing it. There was someone with 100k viewers, like 30k, 40k. And it's just insane, to be honest, that people are all hopping back on the game. Because I know it still has a big community, but like it's not as on Twitch, to be honest.
Yeah, 100%. And we're gonna move on to a gaming product.
It's the new Final Mouse Zeus, the Mouse of Gods. It did come out with the release. Actually, I don't think you can even get it yet, but Aim Gods, a new game that looks like it's from the 1990s. It's a crap League of Legends, and
Warcraft.
Yeah.
It's like a crap League of
It's-
Legends Warcraft.
they've brought back the 2v2 arena like game type, and to be honest, I think they've done it really badly. And to move on to the actual mouse itself, what I think they've done incredibly scummy, I think that's the word. You have to, to get it, you have to either get it for a Twitch drop or get it by winning tournaments on the game, and then have to pay them £300 to get the mouse.
Yeah. So it's like you can get it beforehand before it's released,
Mm.
but you have to get that Twitch drop or win a tournament.
And-
I'd just wait on the mouse to come out. You can't be that desperate. Like, you can already have the Final Mouse Ninja Air 58 or your Model O or whatever it's called,
Yeah.
and it's just like, yeah.
And even then, you're still paying £300 either way. It's not like you're getting a discount for doing it. And like,
Exactly. I mean, £300. I get it if you are really into gaming or if you're a professional gamer, but otherwise, what the hell's the point?
for me, maybe if you're a collector, but it's wireless. It's like gold, which I can see.
It has
That'd
gold on
be
it, that's sick.
yeah. It could like gold designs, and I think it can be appealing to a lot of people because gold is like, oh, we're premium, we're expensive.
Not.
But personally, I don't really like gold, and it's not.
Final Mouse. Sorry, they don't have any software.
No, I forgot about that. They literally don't have any software at all. Like companies like Red Dragon, they're of how cheap their products are, but like still quality products. They come with software, and how come a company that's charging you £300 to get a mouse not have software?
It doesn't have software, exactly, and it has something like 3 DPI options, which are
Mm.
strange options. They're not very good options.
I don't think you can
Um,
adjust them.
No, they have it's something like 960 or something like that. 300 and something. It's like weird numbers. Like they've not even got
specific.
1,000.
It's
I think
specific.
960. Yeah, very specific, and there's only like 3 of them.
Yeah.
It's very weird. I mean, they're definitely up there with the gaming companies, but you're gonna have to change your DPI. You're gonna have to get used to it. Whole lot of hassle and a whole lot of money for something that you just get maybe possibly better out of a Logitech mouse, a Razer, not a Razer mouse, a Logitech mouse.
For me personally, it's 37 grams, which is you could say, oh, it revolutionizes gaming, but to be honest, 37 grams, like you're gonna notice a difference from something like 60, 70 grams, but is it really gonna help you that much? Is there really a
No.
point when you can spend £50 on a Model O or even £90 on a Model O wireless, still £90, still get the same features, good software, and it costs you a lot cheaper. Maybe even the Razer Viper wireless Ultimate, whatever it's called, or
Yeah,
like I
the
said, a
Razer
Logitech
Viper.
cheaper.
The Razer Viper, I've heard that's one of the best mouse.
Yeah, it's
out
like
there.
£40 as well, which is insane.
Is it?
Yeah,
No,
the-
it's
the
not.
wi- the wired
not
one
the
is.
wireless one.
The
Yeah, the
wireless one's
wireless
like
one.
80, 90.
Yeah, when I looked into it, it was like 130 or something like that. But I've heard it breaks a lot, so I wouldn't go with a Razer. But just, but we're going to move on to a nice little game of Would You Rather.
So yeah, I'm the host of this one. Aaron, you're going to be asked the questions, and then afterwards, I'm going to
You're
give
gonna
my
give
say on
your
some of them.
input. Yes.
But yeah, would you rather only be able to watch Gotham for the rest of your life, or all the episodes of the Batman animated series? Batman the animated series.
Gotham.
Elaborate.
I just love Gotham, and the one of the things that I hate about watching the Batman animated series, I love the series, but I know everything about it. It's like the very first episode has the Man Bat, and then like the Man Bat's attacking people, and then you see Bruce Wayne go and meet Kirk Hammett or whatever his name is, the guy who is literally Kirk Hammett. That's the guitarist from Metallica. Kirk Langstrom.
I thought that sounded a bit weird, to be honest.
Who is who is what's he called? He's the Man Bat, and you already know that if you know the Batman lore, and it's just kind of annoying. And you're like, oh wow, he's the Man Bat. No way. It's just it kind of irritates you. As for Gotham, it's so addicting. I don't know why. I just love it. It has fantastic casting. The casting is on point. The casting is fantastic. Everybody shoots their role fantastically, especially Sean Pertwee, who plays Alfred. I've had a few Twitter interactions with him. He's a really nice guy. So yeah.
I've mentioned it before, but I've not watched Gotham, but I know Ben McKenzie is Gordon in it, and there's an actor obviously I've talked about the show The OC, which is I'm sure a big fan of, and he's in that, and obviously being in Gotham, it's like 15 years later and he still looks the exact same, which is a bit insane.
I mean, yeah, well, he doesn't really. His jawline changed a lot throughout the series. See, in the first season, he looks the same, 100%.
It's just it's mad though, because like without a beard he looks a little bit similar, maybe a few changes. With a beard he looks about 90.
Yeah, no, he only got a beard over lockdown though, right? In the last episode of Gotham he has a mustache. I'm not going to talk about that though, because Gotham's still a watch show. So.
But yeah, moving on to the second one.
What would you rather?
Well, I've not watched Gotham yet, and Batman the animated series I watched a long time ago, but I've already watched it, so I'd go with Gotham.
Okay.
For number 2, would you rather be the best at any game you want, like any game, on controller or keyboard and mouse?
Be the best, like everyone.
Yes, like the best in the world.
Keyboard and mouse.
I'd have to agree.
Yeah, I'm sorry, but like, depending on the game, no, just keyboard and mouse.
Yeah,
it's hard to elaborate on. I mean, like, you know, you just want to play keyboard and mouse.
For me personally, it's just a lot more skillful. Like, you can still be really good at a game on controller, but I think it's a little bit of an easier learning curve than keyboard and mouse. You have to put a lot more effort in, and I think to say, oh, I'm this good at keyboard and mouse, it's bragging rights, but like, it's good. Yeah, an achievement.
Yeah, there's a good factor to it. It makes you feel like you're doing something.
Yeah.
Other than controller, which is anybody could use. I mean, like, look, how many buttons are on this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. You only need 14 buttons mainly, right? And like that's compared to what, 100 something.
Yeah, for full size.
Yeah.
Wait. To go into the third one, interesting topic, maybe a bit controversial, but would you rather create content you aren't massively enjoying but get millions of views on it, or have to create content that you love but only for a few thousand?
Content that you enjoy but get millions, or content that you love?
Yeah, but you only get a few thousand views.
Content that I enjoy for millions. Because if you're enjoying it...
Wait, no. You've changed the question, mate.
You said enjoy.
I said, would you rather create content that you enjoy but only get a few thousand views, or create content that you aren't a massive fan of but get millions of views? I'm not!
You'll see it in the recording. Take a note of this. Take a note of this.
Alright.
And then ask me the question again. You'll see it in the recording. You definitely messed it up.
Alright,
go again.
Would you rather create content that you are a massive fan of and get millions of views, or have to create, well, not have to, but create content that you love but only get a few thousand views?
Create content that I love but only get a few thousand views.
Most people will be like, oh, if people say like, oh, you're lying, you'd love to get that amount of views and that amount of money, but to be honest, like any other job personally, if you're not enjoying your job but you're getting loads of money from it, it's not just going to be fun. Like, if you get lots of money from something you're not going to enjoy, you're going to dwell on it.
It's going to put you in a really bad mental state. You're going to be non-stop thinking about it. You're like, oh no, I have to get up in the morning to do this. I just can't be bothered with life anymore. And it can drive people to suicide in bad cases. It just depends, really. But we're not trying to dwell on the bad, but I would personally do something that I love and get a few thousand views. And then you could actually have a life, you know?
Yeah, I would agree, because like YouTube, it doesn't mean that if you're creating that content you can't also get another job that you enjoy, or like
Yeah, and
make
if
a
you
lot of
have
money out
millions
of.
of views, you're gonna get a lot of hate as well. So that comes with the dwelling of
Yeah,
not enjoying it. It just yeah.
yeah. For the fourth one, it's not actually about gaming, but if you could only do one, would you rather be able to speak every language, well, every language known fluently, or be able to speak to any animal?
Speak to any animal.
So, like,
Yeah, I think that's only a thing for pet people though.
yeah, bro, just my dog's staring at me, him, like, I wanting to know what he's saying. He's like, "Give me some food, you little," and it's like, I'd love to know what they're saying, like how they communicate and stuff, and like, I just,
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, being able to speak to an animal, animals give you enough company by just being there, but actually speaking to them, like,
yeah.
what the hell?
I personally, I'm just like, in the future, they're gonna make it so language translation is that good, or like Google Translate or something is that good that, to be honest, translators like in real life translators aren't gonna be a big thing. So I think being able to speak to any animal is better.
100%.
But yeah,
Yeah. What's your next question?
all right. So for the final question of these five, would you rather only be able to play Cold War Zombies or campaign?
Zombies. That's not even a question. I'm sorry, the campaign's decent, but zombies,
I'd agree.
as long as they add more maps, so we can't
Yeah.
really decide on that, but 100% zombies.
For me personally, the campaign I loved, but how short it was. If you could only play that like forever, then I'd just get really bored of it.
I
Like, 'cause-
wanted more Reggie. I want more Reggie in that. He was
yeah,
only in one mission.
I want more Reggie, man, and like more Hudson. Like, you can't actually play as him in a special
Hudson, yeah, he used to
character.
actually be a part of them. He used to actually be a part of the campaign missions, but in Cold War, he's more of a behind the radio type guy.
Reggie and Piotr, really nice guys.
100%, and we've had them on the show. 100%. Really much an honor. And we're okay. Wait, go ahead.
But yeah, I do agree because zombies, even if it's some people class it as repetitive or you're just shooting zombies all the time, campaign you can't really get any other options other than in that KGB mission where you can choose what you want to do. That's it.
Yeah. I mean, you can go by different storylines, but after playing through the whole thing like 3 or 4 times,
You've done all the storylines.
yeah. So, talking of Batman in one of them questions, Robert Pattinson being the Batman for a 2021 movie, which I am going to go and see in 4DX, by the way, moving seats, all that jazz. But I'm excited for it. But Robert Pattinson, he's a good actor, really good actor, fantastic actor, but Batman.
I don't know how I feel about him being Batman because, like you said, Robert Pattinson, great actor. He's been in a lot of things, but like personally, it's either going to be really dark, like as from the trailer, it looks like it could be dark. But Robert Pattinson, he just looks like he's got so much makeup on, and he just doesn't really fit the role of Batman for me personally. Anyway,
So I think he's a great actor. He's most likely known from Twilight and Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire. But I mean, he's a great actor. But having him as Batman, and he was asked over a lockdown to method act, like he was asked to work out, be Bruce Wayne, work out, because Bruce Wayne's supposed to be a big guy, he's
yeah,
supposed to be a muscly, working out big guy, and not too big, but decently big. But Robert Pattinson, he's just skinny. He was asked to work out, he just didn't.
personally, I think that it, like I said, could be either really dark, which could either be a good thing, which personally I prefer when Batman's more dark, like, and gruesome. But I don't know. Like Christian Bale for me was the perfect Batman. Like,
Yeah, I mean,
that series
Christopher
is amazing.
Nolan. Christopher Nolan was a director. I think he don't quote me on this, but he might have casted them movies. Christopher Nolan, one of the best directors ever, directed Tenet, another fantastic, strange but fantastic movie that I went to Glasgow to see. He's one of the best directors out there in the world, and a lot of people would agree with me. And he directed the whole of the Batman trilogy, the newer one. And speaking of Batman, on Christmas Day, I watched Batman Returns, and which is the Christmas-based movie, which was 1992.
Yeah,
Based on Christmas, it's Michael Keaton and
Michael
Michelle
Keaton.
Pfeiffer. And yeah, speaking of Michael Keaton, Piot brought up Michael Keaton. So I think Michael Keaton was Hudson for a game,
Was he?
right? Yeah, I believe.
I remember a few years ago he was in Big Bang episode, Big Bang Theory. Remember he must be getting up there now. He must be really old.
He was in Spider-Man: Homecoming.
Was he?
Yeah, he was the enemy, the girl's dad. At the end,
Yeah. That
what
wait.
was his name? Like Vulture or something like
Yeah.
that.
No, that wasn't him.
It was him. It's Michael Keaton.
Was it actually?
Yeah, on God, that's Michael Keaton.
Wait, I need to search this up.
Yeah, search it. I'll elaborate on it. But Michael Keaton's a fantastic actor. I mean, the movies weren't that good, but he's a great actor.
It actually was.
He's old. Yeah.
He's 69.
He actually.
He's 69. Oh yeah. Yeah. For some reason, I thought he was a lot older than he. Oh, it wasn't actually Michael Keaton in what's it called in Big Bang, but it was like an actor supposed to be him or something. I don't know.
Yeah. But yeah. Michael Keaton's a fantastic actor.
Yeah.
Definitely a good Batman.
Yeah. I still think, like I said, Christian Bale, he like perfectly fitted. But moving on from that, the past few days, well, over Christmas, not one drop of snow. And for some reason in Manchester, they've just decided, oh hey, it's time to snow now. And I'm not a big fan of it, and there's been quite a lot of it recently. Yeah, has there been any for you?
No, we've had frost.
Oh, didn't actually stick.
Isn't nice. I mean, I went into Glasgow and they have snow, but I mean, as for in Greenock, we just have frost, a ton of frost. Yeah, just a whole load of slidey pavements, and there's black ice some places.
What? I don't even know what black ice is, to be honest.
Ice you can't see.
Oh right, okay. So that's going to be very dangerous on the roads.
Very dangerous for runners, walkers, cyclists, cyclists. Crap.
Personally, I've never actually been a big fan of snow, apart from when it's school, because then you either don't have to go in or you can throw it at the back of people's heads. And I just love to get like the one with like that's really icy, lob it in the back of the head, it doesn't break, knocks them out. Lovely.
Knocks them out. Yeah, he's going to juvie.
By the way, I am joking. I didn't knock anyone out.
No, you definitely did. You definitely did.
We don't talk about that. Carry on.
When we were younger, I live on a hill, so we couldn't get out of the drive.
Just slide down the hill, bro.
In primary school, I have another story on this, but in primary school, you know, like the teachers would just bring you out and they'd just let you snow fight all day. In my primary school.
Ours didn't. They'd be like, "Stop throwing snow!" And I remember one time the kid just threw a curveball at the back of the teacher's head.
I think it was first year of high school. I had to go, and it was pretty snowy. And we were driving down this hill, and the brakes, like, they wouldn't work because of how snowy it was. And there was like this old man at the bottom of the street. It was like,
please tell me you didn't run him over.
No, we definitely did run him over. No, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding, right? So, like we were like trying to break it, and it was like you know when you're going down, it's like, you know, it's like it just keeps up, and then it goes again, and you know you're doing that, and then it eventually braked last second.
Stopped. Did he even realize?
I don't even know if he could see.
I think he was deaf as well.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. You know, my only, I'm just a bit cursed.
He's just walking across the street, and there's a kid like it. You just stop at the right time. He just turns around. He don't realize what's happening. He just turns around. And he's like, "Oh, how you doing?" Waves to you. Have you got any more stories?
I have a story.
Okay.
So I believe I was maybe 5, 6.
Oh, I know what this story is.
And I went to Turkey. Where is Turkey? It's Turkey.
I don't know, but I think it's quite close to England, because like I know a lot of people that go on holiday there, so it can't be too
Yeah.
far away.
It's just that it's a very cheap holiday, I believe.
Yeah.
Not very much money to get there. And Turkey's like one of those places you go and like you get a 5-star hotel and yet there will still be ants in your beds and snakes in your wardrobe and stuff like that. So you know, you're like you're there, and we were there for like a week. It was like a 2-week holiday. We were there with one of my mom's friends and her son. And I never really talked to him actually. I've never been friends with him. I've never really liked him as such. No offense to him. We shouldn't be watching. So we were there in like a week, and this weird shady guy starts following us around. He starts talking to my mum, and you know, I'm just like, okay, cool. You know, I was like 6. Who cares? I had a little friend there, and we were just like playing some. We were playing some like dancing games and stuff like that. Anyway,
You
so
dancing? I'm picturing that right now.
one day we're outside. We're
You're
we're
alright, mate?
outside, we're outside of this cafe. Me, my mum, her friend, and her son. And she is like, you know, we got the hell is with this stutter? We got cakes, and then she was like, you can run in and get another cake. And I
You
was
probably
like,
got 5, didn't you?
me being fat, right? Me being fat. I was sitting there eating sugar cubes, right?
I still remember sugar
so-
cubes.
Get a sugar cube in my mouth, right? You know, sugar cubes that you drop into tea.
Yeah.
Turkey are that poor that they can't bloody thingy. So Turkey. Long story short, they really like blonde people, and the whole child trafficking ring. There's a lot of blonde children trafficked because Turkey, they're all dark hair because of their son and whatever.
Carry on.
So a lot of people who are blonde that are trafficked or loved and kidnapped. So I didn't know at the time. I'm never going back to Turkey. I know I'm not blonde anymore, but this place scares me now. Right, so I walk into the shop. I grab a cake. I'm like, yes, cakes, get in. I'm this fat, get in. But I would have been like, yes, cakes, get in. I'm this fat, yes. Right, so
My
I'm
round
sitting there.
machine.
I have my cake, right? I turn around. The waiter's staring at me. Waiter, right? Waiter. Really chill guy, by the way. I don't even know if he spoke English. I turn around. It's this shady guy that's been talking to my room, right? He's just standing there. He's like, I'm like, huh? He like tries to pick me up. He goes, and he comes to pick me up. I'm like, and then the waiter comes over and tells him to go away. So then the waiter pushes him out the way and then carries me back to my mum with my cake. And then I'm like, yay. And I start eating the cake or something like that. God knows how it went. But anyway, this guy, my mum still doesn't believe me to this day. But this guy was like talking to my mum for this whole thing. The whole rest of the vacation. He was just talking to my mum. This guy was like some 6-foot shady man from the alley down the street. Like, he's some dodgy character, by the way.
Sounds like it.
He really was. Have you got any stories?
No, to be honest, that makes me realise how uninterested my life is, to be honest.
Yeah.
No, it's funny, you were just like, oh yeah, I've been kidnapped while I was eating cakes.
Yeah, I mean, I was just...
Well, almost
I mean,
kidnapped.
It really scared me for like years after I was getting like that was always my nightmare of, like, was being kidnapped. I was never scared of it before, but that really gave me some PTSD over a few years. Not much. It wasn't bad. I mean, it wasn't to the point where I wouldn't go out or stay in the house by myself. But I mean, it was just like, you know, nightmares type thing. It wasn't really PTSD. But yeah.
That's just insane. You're like, oh, Turkey's gonna be great. Roll up, yeah, we've got sugar cubes, yeah, we've got cakes, and we've also got guys looking to nonce me.
6-foot shady guys who love blonde children. Wow.
Were you like proper blonde at the time? Oh, there he is eating his sugar cubes.
Tasty.
Oh, it's Coke. But yeah, we're gonna move on to the topic of Joe Biden. At the time of recording, he's gonna be president in 2 days, I believe.
Yes, sir.
And Trump claims that it was fake and
The
the
whole election.
election is rigged, which is really interesting. To be honest, it's something I don't surprise coming out from Trump, but
He tweeted on Twitter that the election was fake, and Twitter
he shouldn't
recently
be allowed on
implemented
Twitter.
this. Twitter. Well, he also previously, not to offend anyone in any means, but he recently also posted videos of Muslims dying, being killed, and thrown off buildings.
Why?
Whilst being president, I think it was like 2 years ago, because he's very racist, and he's just not a nice man, and yeah, he just claimed it was fake, and Twitter implemented this thing where if it was a big press tweet that was like big and it was going to get out there, Trump was like, "This election's rigged, we'll get them," right? And Twitter put this little thing saying, "Sources state this is not true," underneath this tweet. Let me see if I can find an example. But what is your take on this election?
To be
Even though
honest,
we're-
obviously we are in the UK, but like, it's pretty insane to me. Like, obviously there's a lot of Trump supporters in there, and obviously Biden supporters. I just think all politicians. We're not going to talk about it too much because obviously it's a very controversial topic. But I think all politicians are just stupid. To be honest, like Joe Biden, though, I think he'll be president for a little while. Everyone will realize how like they're both like similar, and everyone will and then he'll just somehow get back into power for some reason.
Right, so they've
And
changed
it's
this
just
thing,
horrible.
and it says you can't see it because of my terrible camera, but it says that this claim about election fraud is disputed on every one of his tweets.
Interesting.
So they don't like Twitter. Don't like Trump.
I
I mean,
mean,
he posted videos of people dying on Twitter. So
the amount of stuff I just don't think he should be allowed Twitter, to be honest. I
you know,
think
my question is, how do Americans let that man have the big red button?
and it's just because there's interesting people that support him.
He's a white supremacist. He's a racist.
I would say he's a waste man then.
He's everything. He is a waste man. He's everything. But yeah, we don't want to talk about that too much. Especially, we don't want to make it seem like our political views matter, because they don't. They're just opinions. But Trump has too many opinions, to say the least. And we're in the UK, so obviously our opinion doesn't really matter, other than the fact that Trump likes the UK, which is kind of scary. And we have to back America up in wars and stuff, because apparently it's fair.
Boris
So-
Johnson, his cousin. Have you saw that interview where they're like sat next to each other and Trump's got his hand around Boris and he's like, "You all right, mate?"
Yeah, they both love each
Power
other
couple.
with a passion. So, DMCA is on Twitch. Coming back to Twitch drama. No wonder so many people are moving over to YouTube. You probably get less copyright claims over there.
DMCA on Twitch, yeah. It makes me cry because like Twitch have been one of the only platforms that actually like been alright with copyrighted music or stuff like that.
I mean, yeah. Twitch. Yeah, we're gonna talk about them in another episode. But DMCA's. My take comes with the fact that a lot of people's content was taken down. I think Tim the Tatman was a big one, right?
Yeah.
He was like crying on stream or something like that. And a lot of big content creators, they were losing like a lot of money over just like a snippet of a song or something like that. And you know, I'm not a Twitch. I don't do streaming much anymore. Definitely not. So I mean, I'm just streaming for the sake of it, and I'm still going to play copyrighted music. So Twitch can ban me all they want, whether it's through DMC or not. But I don't care. I genuinely don't care. I will boycott this until they work it out.
Yeah, that's obviously it's part of Twitch. The worst thing is, to my knowledge, they're being forced by DMCA to do it. Otherwise, they're bigger than Twitch. Basically, like they can shut down Twitch, which is just
Twitch deserve that. Twitch aren't good as a company whatsoever.
The favoritism and stuff. It's just insane.
Sexism, but we'll come back to that in another episode. That's a whole different topic. Um,
It's Twitch aren't the best for community service on like Valorant.
yeah, I mean, yeah, 100%. Is that your take on it? Is that it? You don't want to get banned or anything, so we're gonna leave it at that.
Yeah, I'm Twitch. Give me a hug. Yeah, I don't want to get banned.
Give me a hug.
But yeah, moving on to Cyberpunk 2077. Biggest fail, worst game of 2020.
I wouldn't say it's the worst game of 2020, but if
I
you're
would.
gonna,
I'd rather play
you're gonna do a
Cuphead.
fresh thing here, what? You'd
Ra-
rather play Cuphead?
Yeah, I'd rather
Oh
play Cuphead.
no!
I'd rather play
no!
Cuphead.
No Cuphead! No!
No.
Sam, no! Sam, no!
Zoka cow. Alright, but yeah, I just think that game, it's not as I prefer GTA way more. The bugs, the amount of bugs, the last gen backwards compatibility, like it just is terrible. Like the game's been going for 8 years in production and they still haven't fixed any of these bugs.
Yeah, there's this clip of Shroud, and someone in his chat asks if the game's worth buying and if it's good. And he goes, and he walks up to a car. The car then proceeds to lose all thoughts of gravity. It then floats in the air, does a triple backflip, and then lands on him and kills him.
That's insane. The big thing I found, it was like a GTA Cyberpunk physics side-by-side comparison. And it was one where Cyberpunk, you'd get this big metal bat thing. You'd go to whack a window, there'd be a smash sound. The window wouldn't break. It'd just sit there. And then in GTA, they'd just hit it with a baseball bat and it'd break. And then as the car was sinking, the GTA one sank like a normal car. That was 8 years ago. This game, well, it might have been even longer, I don't remember. GTA 5. And they've just released Cyberpunk. It sits at the top. All of a sudden, in the space of 1 second, floats to the bottom. It's just like, how have you done this?
It's such a badly made game.
And it's meant to be set in the future.
A lot of people said they wouldn't have minded waiting until 2021 if the game was playable.
I mean, if they needed another year to do it, I mean, it's been 9 years. It's been 8 years. Why not wait another year? If you're gonna, if after 8 years it's gonna be that bad,
let's not
one more year.
Just at least put all your thought in it to get rid of those bugs, because those bugs, they're just small little things, and they're things that can be overcame within months, never mind a year. But even just a year, make sure everything's perfect, play through the whole game, get numerous people to play through the whole game, make sure it's nice and polished for release.
I think the main thing that like ruined it was they, after the 7 years, they announced, like, I think it was 2019, they were like, this game's going to be delayed a little bit longer, we're just finishing the touches, making it okay. And then the Xbox and PS5 get announced, and then I think they're like, oh, now we need to change it to the next gen. So then you do all that, and then the other stuff goes out the window.
Yeah, 100%. And that should be where we leave our topics for this episode. But we post updates on our Twitter and Instagram quite often. The Twitter and Instagram, they need a lot more supportive, so we'll leave the links in the description. And if you could go over there and watch our Twitter timeline and our Instagram feed, you'll find all of our updates to episodes being released, issues possibly, just everything you need. It's all there.
Yeah, and
so if you don't mind.
Yeah, and if you are listening on Spotify or watching on YouTube, if you are watching on YouTube, make sure you go on the Spotify link in the description. We're trying to promote that more because it's getting a little bit less attention, and we're trying to bring that if you want to watch it
and listen on the go type thing. Even if you just want to go over a little episode, maybe you really like the Piot episode, maybe you really like the Reggie episode, go for them.
Or you just love our two beautiful faces.
Or you mean voices, right? Because
that's what I meant.
That's what I meant. So, anyway, Rogue Energy. Let's not forget that we have an affiliation with Rogue Energy, an energy drink company that brings some fantastic juices to you. Use code TheCupcast for 10% off any order at your checkout on the Rogue Energy website. I have personally ordered some using code TheCupcast, and that'll be coming soon. So, I'll tell you guys what I think, honest opinion, and you should see whether or not you should use it, and help us out by using code TheCupcast.
for 10% off your order.
Chica.
But yeah, guys, yeah, give us suggestions what you would like to see on the show, who you'd like to see on the show, and maybe topics you want us to discuss. Maybe we might eventually start a Discord server. We don't know yet. But let us know if you'd like to see that as well.
We got a request for James C. Burns. We'll try.
We'll see what we can do.
Yeah, having old woods would be sick.
Yeah, it'd be amazing.
Yeah, and so anyway, so having the old woods would be really cool. And thank you for watching this if you're watching on YouTube.
And listening on Spotify.
And don't forget, stay cozy.
Bye, guys.